The silent monk's stitched lips are the colour of sea ice. The expected happens. Nothing.
Maybe not to come back.
Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times. Good times. I wonder if they'll remember me.
What's this? I found something.
This poor unfortunate died just when he thought he was free. There are marks on his body. Something in the water got to him.
At a kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding horseback. We dwarves had a kingdom, and a proud knight was I. I won't always be sweeping, for my kingdom I'll die. Heavens to Bessie, another one. More queer folk than commoners in Driftwood these days. Just look at you. Tame owl, eyes of a wolf. You don't come from no farm, I can tell you that. Anyway, tavern's just down the road. Can't miss it. 'Cause that's where all the queer ones go. Clanking dwarves, dozy lizards. I even saw him drag a voidwoken down there in the dead of night. Don't know what's going on in that tavern, but it must be a freak show in there.
Hope you ain't looking for work in this dying town. Besides, you ain't got the look of a fisher about you, I'll tell you that much.
You too, Julian. Show them how it's done, man. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath. I'll...
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
I'm going nowhere right at this moment. Nowhere since something crossed my path and oh so very sharply piqued my interest. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? We do cruel things unto others and unto ourselves because we must.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too, rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. Oh, no, 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 no. That won't do at all. Innocence is a mask that doesn't fit you. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping by my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth. That is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelled on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt, the very definition of your order's existence. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule, a beast of burden. But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course. I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you. Dallas.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up? How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you.
Time has come, my stitched-lipped lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You! The supposed source hunter! I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it.
Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there.
Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the Bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man. What happened? Void woken. That means source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been. Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the Driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen. It may be interesting to have a word with him, find out what he's up to. But where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the east of Driftwood. It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working in behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
And rotten eggs. More humans. Just what we needed.
Penny for a sick dog? A glance at the dog's miserable face tells you it's sick, all right. Penny for a sick dog? The dog lies there quietly, clearly in great pain.
What are you looking at? I'm sick here. Get lost. Got a pain in the neck. You've got a bad pain in the neck.
It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within its throat. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth at you and growls. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not bite you. Yet. The dog goes to bite your hand, and then realizes the pain is gone.
Hey, I feel okay. Thanks, man. Think I'll wander off now. Here, before I go, what can I do to show my gratitude? Master did. Huh? Wait a minute. Master hurted me? Excuse me a minute. I'm gonna go now, but first I have a thing I need to do.
He turns to his master.
You bad man, you!
Then don't.
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away. God damn it. How's my livelihood? Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here. You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, yes. You would do that, wouldn't you? I couldn't prevail upon you to change your mind, could I?
He gives you a cool look, then rummages in his pocket. He hands you the contents.
That's your lot. Go on then. Get lost, you freeloader. I'm working here.
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes and points right at you. From her other hand dangles handcuffs.
Ifan Ben Mesd our living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake. Who could forget? Best night's business the healer had in months. Now, come on. Back into a cage where you belong.
The Magister balks, all bravado punctured. She hums a tune and looks the other way, pretending to be completely alone here.
Hey, this news! Fresh from the War Owl! Hear all about it! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy? Ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is, the Divine Order's gonna hit the ancient empire and hit it hard. You remember what happened to the elves, don't you? Ain't no one left standing when you treat them to death fog. Seven save us. Stabbed in the back he was by them vile, low-born, treacherous seekers. Kill them all, I say. Do them like Magister Raymond did old Lady Siva. That'll teach them traitors. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the Divine is dead. Gone. Who'll save us now? Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of the sword, no sir. Had them all hung. Real slow like. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no queen.
Hello, mister.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister. No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here. We were waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. That's right.
I think he's an idiot. And when he gets back, I'm going to tell him so.
Magisters dropping left and right. Can't say I'm shedding any tears.
Where is it? Where is it? Sir, please, have you seen a small burlap pouch lying about?
She looks up at you in surprise. Her great greenish-gold eyes sparkle, and she rubs a palm over her smooth head, seemingly confused.
You'd help me?
Tears star her eyelashes, and she begins to weep. She takes your hand.
I know. What a crybaby I am. It's just, you're so kind. It's been a difficult day. The pouch. I really must find it back, or my master will flay me alive. It had quite a sum inside it. Magister Raymond, he bade me take the coins to purchase supplies for his journey, but I dropped it along the way. He's sure to think I stole it.
She tilts her head back and blinks back tears.
I'd never do such a thing. Never. You're so terribly kind. But I couldn't accept such lavish charity. It's so unbecoming. I don't know what to say. Your kindness is overwhelming.
She accepts the coins, letting her hand linger over yours for the briefest of moments.
You don't know what this means to me. I'll send word to Magister Raymond right away. He should send for me soon enough. Thank you. Thank you.
The Meister's back! She doesn't feel like playing, but...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, God or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magister's pale into fashion. Kindly remove that paint. It really is quite simple. In the corner, there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right. say, your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Push the button. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoken.
Ancient runes. Weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken?
Meister Siva's stare bores into your soul. It is still, analytical, and ice cold.
Indeed, some people seem to think so. Mostly they're idiots, but in some cases they're mad dogs.
The Meister rests her hand on her arm where one of her wounds has just reopened. She squeezes hard, ignoring the trickle of blood running down her claw.
I pray you're more idiot than mad dog. It would be a shame to expend all this effort just to see you put down. I hope so, for all our sakes. To accept divinity is to accept responsibility for the lives of every person and beast that walks Rivellon. If granted divinity, you would have the power of all 7 gods at your disposal. You could heal any wound, pull islands from the sea, right any injustice. But make no mistake, the Divine has only one duty: to protect this world from the void. The Divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard, sauce in the glowing fountain, ritual in the tome by the bookcase, even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the Cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and Drudenay oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul. Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Ivan, my wolf! Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell, and see.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Ralik in all his spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Ralik nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing. And should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. To save us both, as a matter of fact, you must realize, Ifan, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs. It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism and a dreadful mistake. A mistake we must rectify. The void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The void's doom. This world's liberator. It's very simple, really. They will either bow to you or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own God-woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Ifan. chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods, their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you, for these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence, to save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in. Of course, the ends do justify the means. Life, or the eternal void. If you choose life, you choose the well of ascension. I will lead you there when you're ready, when you've become a true master of the Source and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spell.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
Perhaps. But what is a pilgrimage after all, if not a journey of atonement in search of enlightenment? Focus not on death and irony, Ithan. You've had enough of those. It's time to turn your lupine gaze to life and ascension instead. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first, you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek Masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So, return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits, the souls of the dead made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Best of luck, Ben Mezd.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough Source? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of Source. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my Source. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all Source flows, and certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only Source Masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling their legs from spiders and so moved on to people. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your Source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers. especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.